Hello everyone, Alex here back again. I would like to talk about how we have been conditioned in some shape or form, and you might argue that this whole entire world that we exist in or reside in is a form of conditioning in one way or another, which is very true. It depends on how you look at it. But I would like to specifically talk about conditioning as far as, what we put into our body. Basic fundamental things such as food or nutrition sort of aspects. And we, especially in the United States or the Western world and society, we are conditioned and told from a very young age that we need very, very certain ways of obtaining certain nutrients, like calcium or protein or iron or various things of this sort. And it really makes it so that it's extremely hard for people to really open their eyes and question what they put into their body. I think a good example for this would be Mike Judge's, or he produced at least Mike Judge's Idiocracy, where everyone is used and conditioned to drinking Gatorade, to a point where everyone is just baffled. Like, oh, how can there's no water? You mean we're not supposed to drink water? We're supposed to drink Gatorade. That's what's normal, And that sort of thing. That's just an example I'm throwing out there. Don't you really question these things? People don't question these things. They're taught to just they're spoon-fed this, or we're all spoon-fed this from a very young age, that we need milk or dairy or meat and these sorts of things to live a healthy life and a very fulfilling, optimal, nutritional kind of a way of living. And it's just totally outrageous and quite despicable in many ways. I mean, if you really want to... cancer rates are through the roof. You could argue that there's environmental settings, which I'll get to in a moment. You could argue different things as to why we have cancer, not just the food that we eat. But specifically, there is a direct correlation and a direct link and association with meat consumption and cancer rates. Within the past 50 years, cancer rates have gone up by thousands and thousands of percentiles, and people don't really question these things. It's another form of conditioning that we're surrounded by this obesity problem, and we're surrounded by all sorts of ailments and illnesses and diseases and just horrible things that are just so out of the ordinary, normal for human nature to be experiencing. But as an American society, we're totally used to this, and we're becoming more and more comfortable with these sorts of things, which is very bad. It's extremely... obviously it's extremely horrible. But not many people are aware. A major problem is that people don't really have a strong awareness as to why several of these horrible things are occurring in the first place. And I don't know where to begin. Along with us being a huge contributor of pollution, along with animal products and meat factories, which I'll give you a link in the description, you can check out for yourself. Meat factories contribute a huge part of pollution in the environment and just horrible things. And of course we have the argument where we need meat for protein. Of course, we need it for protein. We need it for all these basic functions, and the human body needs all of these things in order to function properly. which is totally outrageous. Have you ever... I mean, the world is a giant business, essentially, especially in contemporary times. The world is just one globalized business internationally. That's what it is to the core. And the main purpose and the main thing that runs the world is profit. Profit motive and incentive. It's a really despicable system when you think about it. The medical and pharmaceutical industries profit so much, you don't even know. They profit billions and billions every year off of our sickness and off of our just horrible cancerous output of our lifestyles that we choose to have in the Western world. We have obesity, we have cancer, we have heart disease, we have diabetes, we have the list goes on. The pharmaceutical company is leeching off of our sort of disability, or whatever you want to refer to as. They are leeching off of our suffering and the overall... It's really a cycle. It's a cycle with the pharmaceutical industry, and it's a cycle with the fast food industry and the overall industry of meat production. They go hand in hand, really. I mean, there are other things. I mean, there's drugs. There's other horrible things in the environment, but the number one enemy and the number one threat to our health is what we eat on a daily basis. Have you ever thought about what you put into your body on a daily basis? Have you ever considered all of the deadly chemicals, all of the deadly and lethal things that you're consuming? No, because you're fed and conditioned as a person to a point where you enable yourself to consume all of these things, to a point where you think this is normal, when it's not normal to be eating these things on a daily basis. All these horrible animal products which are causing obesity and various other illnesses and conditions to go through the roof on a yearly basis, and cancer, of course. And if you look at other countries, if you look at any other country in the world, cancer rates are so low in comparison to the United States. Look at third world countries. Just compare the cancer rates. Compare all of the illnesses. Compare everything. Compare it to our industrialized fast food nation that we supposedly thrive on. Compare it to that. And there's a direct association and affiliation with meat and animal product consumption. I mean, it's right there in the open. And people are just completely blind to it because they're conditioned to think that this is normal and this is normal behavior to go upon. When it's abnormal, and we're not designed to consume this kind of capacity of animal products. It's just, I mean, it's just horrible. We really, and that's why I'm vegan, and that's why a lot of other people are vegan, because it's that mindset. And there's a lot. I've met a lot of people who are aware of these things, but they say, you're not going to make a difference. How dare you? You can't make a difference on your own. But it's exactly that kind of attitude that leads to that just horrible, horrible lifestyle, and it's that kind of attitude which makes things the way they are. The world as it is a result of people's actions, or lack of, I should say, lack of actions that have been taken. And the only reason that these things, the fast food industry is still around, the only reason that all of this is still happening is because of profit. As consumers, we enable this to happen. If we didn't allow this to happen, if we didn't consume these products, then there would be no reason for them to produce all of these things. There would be no reason for all the subsidization Meat in other countries, take Thailand for example, or take any other Asiatic country. Meat is an extraordinary luxury. Beef is extremely scarce and very expensive in other countries. And if you would, again, it's right there in the open, but we are so damn ignorant and we're so damn brainwashed. Ever since we were young, we were brainwashed into this overall system to think all of these things. And because it's normal to us in our environment, you know, you can get a burger for like 99 cents, for example, when in other countries the same amount or quantity of that meat would be extremely very scarce and expensive and very pricey. And this is where you can sort of connect the lines here. We have the pharmaceutical industry profiting off of all of this, along with, of course, the animal, the farmers, and the subsidization from the government and the government intervention that's being taken place. And if we don't step in soon as consumers, and if we don't change the direction we're going, we're going to continue facing these horrible negative consequences. And if we continue on this path of just self-destruction, surely it'll only get worse and a lot worse before it gets any better.